What is up, guys? Welcome on back to the news with TK. And Iran has just been bombed pretty extensively by the state of Israel. Reports are coming in now that the initial bombing happened and now Iran has responded. I'm going to get into a couple of reports here.
Standing by at the White House tonight. Peter, clearly through Secretary of State Marco Rubio's statement, the White House saying they are not part of tonight's military action. However, we do know that the president has been a steadfast, strong supporter, ally of Israel, and has stated many times he will continue to be.
Sean, earlier today, I had a chance to talk to President Trump in the East Room about this, and I asked him basically, are you trying to talk Benjamin Netanyahu out of strikes on Iran, or do you want to keep a nuclear weapon out of the Iranians' hands so bad that you would just say, it's not our war, and let him do his thing? And President Trump's answer was a little bit longer than what I'm going to Cliff's note it as, but he said Iran just cannot be allowed to get a nuclear weapon. I'm just off the phone with some senior staff. President Trump, I'm told, is in the West Wing talking to his senior staff, and he is watching the news from the region about what is going on. And it's kind of an interesting place to be right now, the White House, because when most of the folks were leaving here around 6 o'clock after the nightly newscasts, there was a congressional picnic that was starting on the lawn. As I was walking back in through the gates, Pennsylvania Avenue is now completely closed. There are Secret Service patrolling. They're keeping people pretty far back, which is something that they do when there are big international incidents. There are heightened tensions. They just want to make sure that they have this area secure. But there are some guests from the congressional picnic still leaving as President Trump is in the West Wing trying to figure out what exactly is going on. He told me earlier today that Israel did not tell them anything specifically that led to the evacuation of American dependents, American military family dependents in the Middle East. But we know that they had some kind of a tip, whether or not the Israelis told us directly or our own intelligence in the region tipped us off. They didn't do that for no reason, because it was a huge operation that a lot of people thought was going to go for a couple more days. But it really only went about 24, 36 hours. Something else, just being here yes.
Iranian state media now has confirmed what we reported earlier that we weren't able to confirm, that the Iranian Revolutionary Guard chief has been killed in a strike. It shows you the depth of the intelligence that the Israelis have. Pretty amazing. But you're saying that the president is in the White House, is watching this unfold live tonight, correct?
Yes, and as I was walking up the driveway, I don't have a clear view right now, but there was still a Marine as of about 5 minutes ago, a Marine sentry posted outside the West Wing gates, which means that the president is either at the Oval Office desk or in the Situation Room with his team there. And just something that I would say about the first 140 days or so being here with Trump for his second term, he's been very, very focused on keeping America out of new wars. And when you talk to him about Ukraine, you talk to him about Gaza, he emphasizes that is not America's war. He wants to work hard to try to end them, but it is not America's war. And so I would
listen, Peter. He's done everything humanly possible, along with Steve Witkoff, to give an off-ramp to the Iranians. They chose not to take it, and they got very arrogant about it. And this is the inevitable result. You don't get to be the #1 state sponsor of terror and provide all the weaponry to be fired into Israel and then not expect Israel to take your words seriously that you want to wipe them off the map.
Some breaking news. Israel's top military spokesperson just announced that Iran has launched 100 drones at Israel. It will take them a couple of hours to get here, and likely, as we have seen in the past, they could be coupled with some sort of missile fire. But this is the first part of what we expect to be a multi-pronged response from the Iranians following these Israeli strikes overnight that came in waves, targeting Iranian nuclear facilities, also top officials in Tehran, including nuclear scientists and the head of the IRGC. As we move forward here, we should look at the special instructions that have been given to Israeli civilians. Israel's Home Front Command, the arm of the military responsible for communicating with the civilian population, has told people to stay close to bomb shelters. Israel's prime minister says the instructions may last for longer than in previous times during the more than 600-day war that Israel has been facing. And as we try to put this into context, the question now is not only A, how the Iranians are going to respond, but B, if this is going to drag out into a days or even weeks-long event. We heard tonight from President Trump speaking with Bret Baier, saying that he still hopes Iran will come back to the negotiating table, but everything is up in the air right now. And as we look at what happened tonight, these waves of Israeli strikes that targeted Iranian facilities, individuals, and missile production sites, it's a sign that Israel's not looking just to send a message to the Iranian regime, but truly trying to damage their nuclear facilities so that it would at least set back their nuclear program amid these conversations that have been taking place between the Americans and the Iranians. But again, the latest information that we have, Iran has launched 100 drones at Israel. According to Israel's top military spokesman, efforts are already underway to try and shoot them down.
So it looks like Iran has got to the fuck around and find out portion of the of the program against Israel as their top leaders are being effectively assassinated. Let's talk about this in the comments.